So our next topic of discussion is scripts. This is another form of strong slot and filler representation. We have already seen conceptual dependency, and this is the next type of strong slot and filler representation. A script is a structured representation describing a stereotyped sequence of events in a particular context. Suppose we are having an activity. That activity will be composed of many small events, and these events can be sequenced in an order. Such situations or context can be verbalized in the form of a script. That verbalization for understanding the natural language is known as script. Scripts use a number of frame-like structure with more specialized roles to represent the commonly occurring experience. The events or tasks that are commonly occurring around us can be turned or converted into a structured scripting form, like going to a movie house for watching a movie, or eating in a restaurant, shopping in a supermarket, visiting a doctor. All these are the activities which are occurring around us. If we take one activity, it is not just a single event. It is composed of different small events, and we can sequence those events. So such things can be verbalized, or we can represent those things in a verbal form, which is known as scripts. And the benefits of scripts are: the events tends to occur in known runs or patterns. As I have said, we'll be having different events in a sequence, and we can easily describe or define after event X this is going to happen. So there will be a pattern for getting that activity or event or task done. So such a sequence of activities can be arranged in a format that can be predicted before. A causal relationship between events exists. So there should be some relation between each of the events. Entry conditions exist when which allows an event to take place. For an event to take place, we should have some condition previously defined. With the absence of those conditions, we cannot define an event to take place. So for happening of an event, we should have some preconditions. Then prerequisites exist for events taking place. Some requirements are needed for activating the events. Then the components of scripts are: for forming a script, we are having some components. One is entry conditions. As we have just said, there should be some conditions for an event to happen. Then entry conditions are: it must be satisfied before events in the script can occur. These entry conditions should be satisfied before the events to start occurring. So in the absence of these conditions, event will not be happening. So there should be some condition existing in the script. For example, for eating in a restaurant, this is an event. Eating in a restaurant. Then the restaurant must be open. That is one condition. If the restaurant is closed, we cannot eat in the restaurant. Then the customer should have money. Without money, we cannot go to a restaurant and have the food. Then the customer needs to be hungry, and there will be such preconditions set for an event to happen. And these must be satisfied before describing the script. If these conditions are satisfied, then only we can go with the script. Then results. Conditions that will be true after events in script occur. So we'll be defining some script, and after the completion of that script, then the conditions should be true. For example, hunger of a customer who went to the restaurant is removed. When a customer enters a restaurant with hunger, when he or she is hungry, then after, when he get out from the restaurant, the hunger should be removed. So that is the result of the event. There should be some positive result in the event. Then we have some properties. The objects involved in the events, they are the things that support the content of the script. It can be the objects or properties used. For example, in the restaurant, we will be having tables, chairs, waiters, menu, etc. These are the properties available in the restaurant. Cashier will be there. So whatever things that are available in the restaurant will be considered as properties in that script. Then roles. Persons involved in the event. There will be several persons involved in an event, and each of them will be having their own roles to play. So they are the roles. Items performed by individual participants are called as roles. The activities performed by each of the individual in a script is called as roles. These are the slots representing the people who are involved in the events described in the script. Example, waiter in a restaurant is a role or a person who is having a role. So waiter takes the order from the hungry person. So taking the order is the role to be performed by the waiter. And then he delivers food and present the bill. All these are the actions to be performed or the roles to be performed by this person. The customer order. Customer is also a person in that script. So customer, his activities will be customer order, eat, and pay the bill. There are 3 activities to be performed by the customer. We can add in between small activities also, washing hand. Likewise, we can have intermediate activities or events. Then we have track, specific variations on the more general pattern in the script. So we'll be specifying a script, and in that script we will be having different tracks. With an example it will be clear. Different tracks may share many components of the same script but not all. If all the components are shared, then the tracks are same. The tracks can share some or major part of the or any part of the components in a script. 2 tracks will not be equal in all respect. So there must be some difference between tracks. It will be clear with an example. Then we have scenes. Script is broken into a sequence of scenes, each of which presents a temporal aspect of the script. So we can divide a script into different scenes, and scenes will be a miniature form of the script. Events represented in conceptual dependency. These events are represented in conceptual dependency format that we have studied in the previous class. In the restaurant, there are scenes like, so the script or track restaurant is being divided into different scenes like entering of the hungry person, ordering by the hungry person, eating by the hungry person, paying by the hungry person. So we can divide that activity into sub-acts or scenes. It's just like the shooting of a film. We will be having script and we are having tracks. We are having different scenes and we will be using some properties for materializing these scenes. And it is just like that film shooting activity. Let's see an example. We are taking the track as a supermarket. So the actions or events taking place in a supermarket can be discussed here as a track, or we can describe the script as the activities taking place in a supermarket. The roles means the persons who are involved in this supermarket. The shopper is a person. Delivery attendants, delivery boys will be another person. Then checkout clerk can be there. Packing clerks, packing agents can be there. Cashier will be there. And then we can have different roles available in the supermarket. Then we should have some entry conditions for the shopping to be practical. That is, the shopper needs groceries. He should have something to buy from the supermarket, then only he enters supermarket. So requirement by the shopper is one condition. Then the food market or the supermarket, not food market, supermarket should be open. Likewise, we can keep some entry conditions. He should have some money or some debit card or some material to pay the bill should be there. Then the properties that we will be using in the supermarket will be the shopping cart for putting the luggage or materials that we are taking. Then some display boards regarding the price of the items or the description of the item. Then market items, the objects that are to be sold will be kept in racks and all. Then checkout stands for keeping our bags and luggages, etc. will be there. Money is a property. Then our shopping bags can be a property. Likewise, we can have different properties used for performing this shopping activity as a script. Then we are dividing that script into different scenes. Scene number 1 is entering the market. So entering the market means who is entering the market? The shopper needs to enter into the market. Then we have said that it is represented using conceptual dependency form. So shopper needs to enter. Shopper is outside the market. He has to enter into the market. So his physical location is being changed from one location to another, and the physical location changing phrase is P-trans. We have seen that. So shopper, P-trans, shopper. A shopper is moved from, his physical location is moved from one location to another, which is into the market. From outside, he is entering into the market. Then shopper also P-trans shopping cart. To shopper, there will be a shopping cart, and shopping cart can be moved between this shopper. The shopper is moving along with shopping cart. There also the physical transmission or transfer of the shopper is taking place along with this shopping cart. Then scene number 2, shop for items. Shopper has entered the market. Then he or she will be starting the shopping process. There again we can use different attributes here or acts here, like move, attend, P-trans. So move, attend, P-trans, etc. are being used. In short, we will be using the conceptual dependency format for describing the scenes. Then scene 3 is checking out. Entered the market, shopped the items and checking out. Shopper move, shopper to checkout stand, shopper attend eyes to charges, pay money to cashier, back to this packing boy and hand over the bag to shopper. Object is being transferred like A is transferring his pen to B. Likewise, the shopping bag is being transferred to the shopper by the sacking boy. Likewise, we can perform some activity by dividing those activities into small events. You can easily predict that after entering the market what happens next, and after that what happens next. So that sequence can be predicted in a script. And the advantages, as I said, we are able to predict the events, the order of the events, or assume or predict with the available sequence of events what happens next. Then disadvantages, more specific and less general than frames. It is more specific and less general. More specific means it is not flexible. It is rigid. If it is general, we can modify that into different formats. If it is specific, our liberty to modify that is limited. So that is a disadvantage. It is an inflexible in that sense, and not suitable to represent all kinds of knowledge. We cannot represent everything as the sequence of events. So those things cannot be represented using scripts. To deal with inflexibility, to remove this inflexibility, smaller modules called memory organization packets. We can divide it into smaller modules which are known as memory organization packets, and they can be combined in different ways to have an appropriate, to handle or fit into an appropriate situation. So our events can be divided into smaller form, and that can be combined into a different format which is matching the situation. With that, we can handle this inflexibility to an extent.